Hey guys, so today we're going to do just a brief overview of Magnum and kind of what the menus look like and just kind of give you an overall flow for how the program works. When you first go into it, you have to enter the IP address of the server that you want to go to. So in the case of most of the trucks, it's going to be a 10 dot the truck number and then 5.5 / Magnum will get you to this page. In my case, I'm using the virtual box, so the number is quite a bit different. When it brings up this page, the username is admin and the password is admin, all lowercase. When you click on it here, this will bring up everything that's connected to the router. Right now, because I'm in VirtualBox, nothing is connected, so everything's showing up red. But normally you would have at least an EMR in the A-frame, that's your audio router. EQX is your video router. You'd have some VIPs, you'd have some panels, and they would all be highlighted as being active. Your system health will tell you kind of what's going on with the router in general, and routes will be a real-time table. So if someone routes to a monitor or routes to an EVS, it'll actually pop up here and it'll tell you what the route is and what's going on. And that is from the home button again if you want to get back to this. If you go to system and you go to servers, there should be two of these normally, but again, because I'm in VirtualBox, I only have one. It'll give you the IP address of the server. I'll tell you if there's an upload required, and the license will say license valid if there's two of them. If you have one of the servers that's not on or the license is not good on it, it'll say that it's not good, and then you can't do an upload until you delete that server. So to click on it and just click delete and it will go away, or if you want to add another server back, you can do that as well. The other thing in system, if we go down into here, is our port labels. And port labels are useful if you want to change colors of a source, which I've already done here. You just simply select what you want in the naming group, and you can type in a name for it. Once you type in the name, you go over here to Manage Labels, and then you can select the color that you want by double-clicking on the color area and moving it around. Select. And Manage Labels, skip back out, and now everything that you type CAM with will be that way. And you can do the same for EVSs. You go on the virtual side, go down to EVSs here. I've made them an orange color. And you can do that for destinations. You can have as many different colors as you want for as many different things. They don't have to be all the same color for the source or all the same color for the destinations. If you want to add a new virtual port, you go to System and Virtual Ports and either the source or the destination. If you're going to do a lot of them, you can do an import-export. You can export it to Excel and do the editing there. The other thing we can do is add a subscription. And for subscriptions, if you want to add a new one, you just click on Add. It brings up a menu, select the name, and click Done. Now, names is where I like to do the naming of things. And one advantage is this is much faster because in the naming menu, you're only loading the names. You're not loading the video and audio information. So you can load this. It scrolls much faster. It updates much faster. And you can look at, in this case, the virtual, or if I want to go up and I want to look at the subscriptions, it's all in the same menu and it loads much, much faster. Now the other thing you can do here, which I've already done, is you can add a name set name. In this case, I created one called Show, but you can call it whatever you want. And then click Done. And name set names get used when you go to Interfaces and Single Profile, and there's the name set. So right now it's on the default, which is Global, but I could also change that to be Show. And now that panel is going to load with a Show name set. And that's only what's going to be displayed to that person. Now some other things I can do in this group, I can edit them as a group of panels. So if I know my tape group is the same, for example, I can click on two of them and go up here to Edit. And now it says multiple panels instead of just the name. I can bring my cursor over top of this little scroll thing and it tells me which panels I'm editing. So any changes I do is going to affect both of those two panels at the same time. And this can act like a real panel. So if I click on a menu button, it actually makes that menu change the way it would on a normal panel. And if I wanted to edit a bunch of buttons, I'm clicking just outside the box. I'll highlight a bunch of them. I'm going to delete those. Now if I want to make that a source, I just type S on my keyboard. Now it's a source. That changed over here, and I can change what I want my group to be, and I want it to be camera 1. So now I'm going to go outside the box, highlight a bunch of them, type S again for source, and now I've added everything in the same order that it is available over here. So it's going by this order. And if I want to add something new that's not available on here, I can click out of that and go up to this bar, and that'll show me absolutely everything that's in the panel. Same for sources and destinations. I can copy one page to a next. If I'm on this page right here and I want to copy that to another page, I can scroll down here, go to an unused menu panel, click paste. Now I just copied that same thing. And go back up here, go back to my main page here. Now the other thing I can do, if I want a certain group of buttons to be the same on every level, like I just highlighted these, I can make these static. So now what that means is when I go to any other page, these look like they're grayed out here, but they follow from the top to the bottom. So if I'm back here, and I want to put them back the way that they were normally, and that's primary. Primary is only good for the top page that it's on. Now you can also do subpanels. You can have a group of panels be a different set of destinations or a different set of sources, or feeding any number of different things. I can make it a different subpanel. I can change the destination just on that one subpanel. But normally you're going to keep that at 1. Have everything on the same one. This is your default destination down here, the one that I was just looking at. And that is for the default destination of the panel. So when there's an upload done to it before you hit any other destination, then that panel destination here, the default destination, will take effect. And these panels can individually have up to 50 separate pages. And that's what's called a primary menu. On this button right here, the type, this gives you all the different things those buttons can be. They can be a lock. If you click on lock, it's going to lock that panel. The other thing you can do is do a last menu that'll take you back one step. You can do a source scroll up or a source scroll down, destination scroll up, destination scroll down. There's lots of very usable things in here. And if you don't want to send the panel, you don't want to send the changes you just did, you can click done and it'll save the changes that you did to save them later, or send and you can send it back. Revert takes it back to the way that it was before. Back in interfaces, I'm going to leave that page. The other thing up here is quartz and image video. This is what the image video, the tally system, looks at when it's looking at the router, what names are available to it. And not every name is available. But if you added a new subscription that you wanted the router to see, you would have to make it available so that it will appear in the UMD. If you get a UMD and you route something into it and it says no XPT, no crosspoint, that means that source is not available to image video and you have to make it so. And then when you're done, just click done and you can upload that change up there. Now another thing about doing an upload, when you see the changes up here, you can, if you decide I don't really want to do these changes, you can click undo and all those changes are now gone. The other thing we can look at is reports. If you look at the reports for a subscription, and it will tell you everything that's associated with that subscription. What audio, what video, if somebody has it routed to them. They'll give you the real-time report for that. The other thing we can look at is panels under reports. And this will show you if a panel is connected. Like if you've added an outboard panel and you want to see if it's actually connected or not, you can look here. Again, because I'm using VirtualBox, nothing is connected, so you won't see anything. Live log, you can set a time and a date and look for a certain thing like EVS, for example. Now, because I'm In VirtualBox, it's not going to tell me what is going on, but normally you would see a list of things of what's routed to an EVS or from an EVS or any other destination that you want it to. Under Controls, we can go to Advanced Routes, and normally this will bring up the routing table. You can look at either the physical or the virtual, and it'll show you all the routes that are going on at that time in the router. Now up here, if you'll notice, I've got multiple tabs open. That can be a good idea to quickly go between different things if you don't want to wait for the panels to load up. You can have many different tabs open, and that won't cause any problem. Also under Controls is Salvos, and salvos record what routes are taking place in the router at any given time. This does not record names, it doesn't record panel layouts, it's just what's physically routed from one place to another. And the other thing we can look at up here is Admin. If we want to do Configuration Management. Yes, I want to do that site. And this is where you decide when you're going to save a show file. Now, before you save a show file, as we talked about in a different video, you want to save your salvos first and upload them, and then you save the entire show file together as a group. So you go into Download Active, and that's going to be what's actively on the server. You notice as I bring my cursor over here, it actually tells you what it is. And the same with Working. Working is stuff that hasn't been uploaded to the server yet, but it's just sitting in the queue ready to go. It's the changes that haven't been uploaded yet. Import config is to bring in a new config off your system somewhere. And you can also do a snapshot. And a snapshot is a picture of the router at that point in time, and it usually saves one whenever you do an upload to the router. And you can recall it by clicking on this button, or you can save the current config, the current snapshot to a file to load later on. Plugins is where your scripts are. These are your Bunny panel scripts. And what you would do is you would take this and you would export it to like a notepad file on your computer and change the IPs. And you have to go from and to both directions when you're adding a panel there. So you have 2 lines of IPs for each individual Buddy panel. And don't touch anything else that's in here. Only do in this area right here. And then when you're done, you click Apply Scripts, and it will tell you scripts are running successfully, and your Buddy panel should work, assuming you have the right version. The other thing under Admin is Preferences. If you go to Preferences, you can change the color. You can bring in a little picture if you want to put something up in the window, or you can change the name. Here, I'm going to call it Test. Set server name. Now it kind of came up here to be Test. And if you go to Help and About, that will show you what version you're running for all of the different items. And you can also go into Retrieve Logs. So this is a real basic overview of what the different menus do. And there'll be more things coming up in future videos. Thank you.